For the structure of the speech, I didn't want to include too many double entendres or innuendos, but equally I knew that it has to be long enough to keep you interested, but not too long that you all fall asleep halfway through. I do have a list of innuendos which I downloaded and basically decided not to use for this speech. So if any of you have got any speeches coming up and you'd like to include an innuendo or two, let me know and I'll be more than happy to give you one later. In terms of researching the material, I started where most people would when they're making a speech. So I started on the internet. I spent many an evening trawling through various websites which specialise in gay events. It turns out gay events is a collective umbrella term and not just about civil partnerships. Suffice to say that the internet was no help at all. A complete waste of time. Apart from the fact that I've just signed up to Tranny Shack. Madam Jojo's in the West End as my alias Dusty Sideboard. Performing such classics as I just don't know what to do with myself, am I the same girl, and I'll try anything. But enough about me and Dusty, on to the men of the moment. Firstly, Kevin. I've known Kevin now for almost 15 years, and that time we've become best of friends. For this speech, I thought I'd concentrate on one thing that he loves and one thing that he hates. Kevin loves his karaoke. Every first Friday of the month is Karen's Karaoke at the Thomas Farley in the karaoke capital of South London, Courtney. And that's where you'll find Kevin with his playlist, which will have taken him a week to prepare and rehearse. You angry? On one such evening, a few of us went along to join in the fun, and whilst waiting for our turn, I happened to comment to Kevin that I thought the chap that was singing had a better voice than him. Well, he became a man possessed. In the time that I've known Kevin, I have known him to get quite shirty. I've been witness to his violent acts of door slamming, feet stamping, and I believe once he even broke a nail. But with no door within slamming distance, feet stamping ruled out by his killer heels, and his hands recently manicured, what else was he capable of? I was genuinely scared. What else did he have in his armoury? What was he going to do? Throw a pint over me, stab me in the eye, sing a solo? No. He picked up one of the pens that he collected from around the pub, so no one else could put a song request in. And drew on my t-shirt, my arm, and my hand. And even as I'm reading this, I can feel his eyes burning.
You've ruined the next part of the evening for everyone there.
Funnily enough, I don't think it's fair that only a select few here and the regulars for Thomas Farley are the only ones to have experienced Kev's singing talents. So I was going to have a word with the DJ to cue up one of his favourite songs. Turns out that he actually got there before. Now on to a major dislike of Kev's life, apart from me now, probably. Does anyone know what Kevin hates doing more than anything else?
Cleaning.
Working.
Doesn't even know where the kitchen is.
Housework. Rumour has it that Darren has had to explain what the brightly coloured spray bottles and packaging under the sink were. As Kevin had no concept of cleaning cleaning products. Up until that point, Kevin thought that Mr. Muscle was the odds-on favourite to win Mr. Gay UK. Vanish wasn't a stain remover, it was just something he did when there was cleaning to be done. Brasso was a lady of ill repute. Flash wasn't an OxyCleaner that cuts through grease and grime. It was just something that he'd done 120 hours of community service for. And I will leave to your own imagination what he thought Fairy Liquid was. On a more serious note, as I mentioned earlier, I've known Kevin for some 15 years, and we became firm friends almost from the first time that we met. He has been an incredible source of love and support to me, and also one of the funniest yet most compassionate people that I know. As a person, he is kind, considerate and forthright, with a wicked and sometimes twisted sense of humour. Kevin, you are an amazing friend, and I'm truly honoured to be part of your very, very special day. So that's it from me.
Toilet.
How can I forget Darren? Darren stays with it. As if Darren would let me forget him. What a shy, timid, wouldn't say boo to a group, shrinking violet type wallflower he is. He hates the limelight and being centre of attention. Yeah. Now I have to say, this part of the speech pretty much wrote itself. I've often said that Dad could write a book. Dad could write a book based on his life. So here are some stories which I hope will demonstrate both Darren's compassion and how funny he can be. Although his ability to make people laugh isn't always intentional. Darren drives the 333 bus from Tooting Broadway to the Elephant and Castle and back again, across 24-hour shifts and 7 days a week. It's not a job for the faint-hearted, and Darren is sometimes subjected to abuse. Despite the frequent abuse, on one particular journey, one of his passengers boarded the bus with a tank full of tropical fish. During this journey, Dad had to make an emergency stop. Probably whilst waving to the cyclist he almost killed the week before. The tank fell out of the woman's hand and the fish were flapping around on the lower deck. Without thinking, Darren got out of the bus, knocked on the nearest door, and came back with a bucket of water. The fish were all saved and he got a round of applause. On another occasion, he saw a teenage boy that was being chased by a gang. Seeing the boy was in danger with no regard for his own safety, he stopped the bus long enough for the boy to get on, and then he sped off. The police later confirmed that the gang were actually heavily armed and that Darren probably saved the boy's life.
He can't spell MBE.
To carry on with the cleaning theme, Kevin and Darren's gorgeous home is always spotless, and that's mainly thanks to Darren's obsessive compulsive disorder. and thanks to Darren's cousin Diane for this story, which demonstrates Darren's penchant for cleaning.
Oh no!
Times were hard when Darren, Diane and the family were growing up because there were so many of them. But that didn't stop them all having fun. One day they all decided to build a tent with old sheets and sticks. Before they could start putting the tent together, Dad ran into the house and came back out with a dustpan and brush. He didn't think the grass was clean enough. One cold and wet early morning in the middle of winter, Dad was waiting for a bus to take him to work. And as he was waiting, he noticed a car drive past and pull up some way down the road.
Oh, God.
The driver leant over and opened the passenger door. Darren ran to the car and got in. At which point the driver told him he had no idea who he was. and to get out as he was waiting to pick up his wife.
Jumped in the car.
But this didn't put Darren off, who asked the complete stranger if he wouldn't mind taking me to work.
He said no.
I believe the driver's response ended in off. During the World Cup this year,
Oh
me, Kevin, my wife Jill and Darren were in a pub discussing our great game of football. Now you can imagine that on so many levels this was not a long conversation. At one point, Bobby and Jackie Charlton were the topic of conversation. At which point, Daz pipes up and says that he didn't know they were husband and wife. My personal favourite, how can it get better than that? And my personal favourite, Kevin and Darren recently went to the Caribbean on their yacht. As Darren had the window seat, Kev was becoming more and more annoyed that every hour or so Darren was asking to get up so he could walk around a bit. When Kevin asked why, Darren responded, and I quote, "I don't want to get that deep throat thrombosis."
And I never got it. Kev, you married him.
I think it's fair to say that Darren has had a pretty tough life, especially in his younger years, which makes it all the more remarkable that he's turned out the way that he has. He's always thinking of others and rarely puts himself first. He has an incredible insight into what makes people tick, and always offers advice wherever he can. I know that everyone here today, especially Diane and family who have known him longer than anyone else, will agree that you won't meet a kinder, more considerate person, and I for one am very proud to call him my friend. Finally, I want to wish Kevin and Darren a long and happy life together. They truly are made for each other, and today is a celebration of their love and commitment to one another. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that your glasses are charged, and those of you that can still stand, please stand. To toast the happy couple, to Kevin and Darren.
everyone.